Okay, that's all from my side.
Hi guys, this is Shafkat. So this is how we envision our cap table to look like. So this cap table has already data in blockchain, and this is the cap table with you see there are four major cap table changing events that has happened. For example, when this is the inception of the company, and if I try to take a look at that, we can see that two co-founders have started the company. Then there was an angel investment by Point 0.9 Capital. They took Series A preferred shares, which are like normal preferred shares, not participating preferred shares, just preferred shares. And then an employee pool was created, which has 80,000 shares allocated to it. Then we have Series A funding. What happened was Benchmark Capital and Anderson Horowitz, they both invested, but Benchmark Capital kind of invested a little bit more, and they have kind of a Series B preferred sharing, Series B preferred stocks, and this is basically um, participating preferred stocks, and Anderson Horowitz, uh, has normal Series A preferred stocks. So that's how our cap table looks today, and all of this cap table data is in the blockchain. By the way, this blockchain application that you're seeing, this is not something we wrote. This is basically an interface for looking at the blockchain. And if I try to look at the data in there, what will happen is, these are basically transactions. These are all encrypted transactions without proper authentication. No one from outside can see them. But just have an idea that this is the 77th block that was written into the blockchain. And so let me go back to the home screen. So this is the timeline, and these are the four events. So if I go to an edit module, let's say I want to edit the blockchain, and this is the last status of my cap table. And so I'm going to say, let's say my name is um, let's say James uh, Earl, you know, whatever, and he's an investor, and he wants to have Series B preferred stocks, and let's say he bought it at 100,000 of this kind of shares, and as you can see, he has this stock has already been added to the cap table. The total hasn't been calculated yet because that happens when we do submit it to the blockchain. So we're going to save this, and it says this change cannot be reversed. Do we want to uh, save the change? So, and we have to name this event. So let's assume this is a series B funding. Okay, so okay, this has been saved, and if I go home, it will show me that this is the series B funding, and all of this has been written. And if you remember, the last block that was written to the blockchain was block number 77. And if I open the blockchain explorer, which is called the hyperledger explorer, we see that a new block has been written. And if I try to look at the block, we can see pick it up. Okay, so this is the date it was written on. There were four participating nodes at this time. This is the hash of this block, and this is the hash of the previous block, and so that makes it immutable. No one can change this. There was one transaction made. It has the chain code ID, the code that executed it. This is the payload. This is the data. This is the change that went into the blockchain. This is totally encrypted. No one can see it unless they have actual access to the code, actual access to the blockchain, which we do from code. But this is actually an external viewer to the blockchain, and this is the certificate that was used. This is the signature. This is a totally secured um, storage without proper access. No one can access it from outside. So this is the state of our cap table. Now, at this point, we want to know, let's say if we have various exit points in the company, let's say we either sell the company, or we have, you know, we go bankrupt or we sell it to different people at different prices. So we're gonna see a waterfall analysis. And so right now the waterfall analysis is coming up on the screen. Okay, so let me reload it. The waterfall analysis. Yeah, so this came up, and if you look at here, we see every member. You know, the two co-founders, John and Tim, Point 9 Capital, Employee Pool, Benchmark Capital, Anderson, and the last Series B funding which was done by James Earl. So let me turn these off, and we can see at different points how the analysis was done. So see, uh, if we look at this, you know, the total number of shares caps at 3.3 million. So after that, after 3.3 million, the you know, the co-founders get much more money. You know, at start they don't get much, but as the amount grows, they get a much larger share. And if I look at benchmark, if I look at Anderson Horowitz, they actually kind of invested in a preferred stock. So whenever they don't have a participating preferred stock, they only have a preferred stock. So they will get this fixed amount. James Charles actually has a participating preferred stock, so he gets it from the start, and you know, this is what he gets. The employee pool, it picks up from the same time the employees, you know, the co-founders pick up their part. So this is basically a waterfall analysis for the whole system. We can take a look at different points, who's getting what, and um, so this is while what we also want to do is we want to create. So since we don't have you know, a whole lot of data into the system yet, we're not actually kind of still showing it as a very big. You know, this is based on dummy data, but there will be a whole lot of you know, changes in the system, and you know, there will be you know, stock handover. Someone will give somebody shares. You know, new employees will come in, and all of these relations. We want to create a deep visualization of the whole system. This is just a you know, sample model of how you know, how these various deep visualization might look like. Each of these being a transaction and everything. That's what we kind of plan to do. And and let's say, you know, one of the biggest problems we face, you know, in terms of HR employees is that if you know, in different startup there are different people, and the HR manager does not know to give how many stocks to whom, which person. So there's like a, you know, some people are always satisfied, some people are not satisfied. So once we have a large set of data, you know, a little large data set, then we can, and based on the employee satisfaction and dissatisfaction and other kind of information, we can kind of try to figure out these various, based on the various employee characteristics, we can figure out let's say how many shares should we give one person when we hire a new employee. So, and you know, so this is basically the machine learning thing. This is the actual model that was used for this. So let's say I have hired an employee, and this, you know, I'm the HR manager. I can say in plain English, you know, how many um, stocks should, sorry, stocks should I give this employee. And as the bot, and it say, the bot will get back to me. Okay, so the block says based on various characteristics it has analyzed, it says, you know, I should offer this guy minimum 725 and a maximum of 900 stocks. So that's the limit. So this kind of things will help the user a lot. And so this is where we want to this is how our Captable thing and the new visualization and other stuff will work. And I also, so when a participant logs in, this is the new view that we think should occur. So this is the participant who has logged in. She has X number of shares, portfolio worth, you know, and this also the support people can come in and log in as that person and see this some of these things and call the person. And this is basically a timeline of grants awarded, grants exercised, and one person can see his or her timeline. And if we go into my query screen, we can see that